Shabbat Shalom, my friends. It is very wonderful to be in the Holy Shekinah, to be in Adonai with you, being in the One, resting in the One, and being one, Achad. So let us abide together, united in mind and heart, in the One, in the love, and in the light, rejoicing in the presence of the Lord Adonai this day, this presence within us and all around us. Let us invoke and pray, remembering the Son of the Eternal One that shines in our heart and soul, and being gathered inward in that sun, in that star of heaven, in that seventh direction of the sacred circle, while we invoke the six directions round us of the sacred circle, this sphere of light. Zama zama o zama rachama o zai. 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 El Elohim. El Elohim, El Elohim, El Elohim, Elohim Shaddai, Yo Elohim Shaddai, Yo Elohim Shaddai. Michael, Orel, Roel, Orel, Rochel, Sandalford. light before you and behind you, to your right and to your left, above you and below you, as within you. O Holy and Eternal One, as you have joined us with the perfect light, so join with us the images of your angels too. Amen and amen. So we've been speaking deep mysteries of end of days and world to come. And want to speak more of the world that is coming. I want to speak more about being in the supernal garden, being in the light realms of the pleroma, here now. End of days, world to come. But this is revelation. So I want to talk to you about revelation. I want to talk to you about inner sight and inner hearing and seeking a vision. And wearing this body of vision. I tell you, you want to invoke and you want to pray and you want to meditate, contemplate. In oneness, unity and fullness, not two-ness, separation and lack. You want to invoke, pray, meditate, contemplate with the Spirit. You want to seek to see and hear and feel with the Spirit. Smell, taste, touch with the Spirit. Know and speak with the Spirit. And walk and sit. And eat. And bathe yourself. And do everything with the Spirit and in the Spirit, with your Lord and in the Lord. You want to be in the way. And you want to carry your message. But you need to know what your way is. And you need to know what the message is. And for this you must be inward, deep inside. For this you must break out of yourself, your vital, your body, to be in your heart, to be in the love, to be in the light. To sit face to face with your Lord, Adonai. Remember what I have taught you, a Gnostic path, a straight path. And know in these teachings, I'm sharing with you my heart and soul, the secrets in my heart, the secrets in my soul. And take them and know the meaning and remember the meaning. And in your remembrance, you will come to find these secrets are in your heart, these secrets are in your soul. That the truth is the truth. That is your origin. This light, this truth. And you know what I've said? A straight path. And it is this. Go straight to God and God alone. And seek God. And seek no other. Go straight to God. And do not turn to the right. Do not turn to the left. And certainly do not turn backward. But go always forward, straight to God. And this means go inside. Go deep inside. Because your Lord, your God, is there in your heart, there in your holy soul. And you want to be in your heart and sit with your Lord, sit with Adonai, be with your Lord face to face. And go deeper still to sit with your Lord, Adonai, face to face. When you go seeking visions and go on spiritual retreat, I will tell you, going to have a vision, receive guidance, coming into a new cycle, season of your life, this is all fine. And of course, it's good to invoke and pray in such ways to receive words of your Lord Adonai, to receive direction, to receive divine orders from your Lord. And that is all fine. But I'll tell you this. Deep lovers, knowers, Gnostics by God, the vision that they continually pray for, that they continually invoke, is to see God face to face. Tell me the better vision than that. But you can't. It is the most wonderful, most awesome vision. And it is the vision of everything. Because really, there's the Holy One and Holy One alone. And you want to feel this. Feel my words. Feel the deep meaning of my words. Going out seeking a vision. Remember to pray for the great vision. Remember to pray that your Lord opens the eyes and ears of your heart, the eyes and ears of your soul, and clarifies the eyes and ears of your mind and imagination. Now, when I say seeking a vision, some are going to think just about pictures and images and seeing light and so on. And that's all fine. That's all the mind, imagination, eyes, ears, mind, imagination, and that's fine. That's fine when the mind has been cleansed by the waters of truth. When the mind has been cleansed by the fire of the Holy Spirit. The fire of the love. By being in your heart. But you want the inner sight and hearing, which is beyond that. You want the deeper sight and hearing, which is beyond that. And I will tell you, the inner sight, inner hearing, which is this fiery divine intelligence in your heart, this intuitive intelligence, capable of seeing and hearing in inwardness, meaning what is behind veils, what is within pictures and images, coming to a point of not even needing picture image, but having this experience of divine gnosis, this experience of knowledge, deeper than thought and thinking, and yet flowing out in thoughts, words, when it is time, when there is a reason, a need. People will say to me, "Oh, I don't see visions." Well, I had two things to say about that. First of all, anytime in your life you've seen a drop-dead gorgeous person, you couldn't remember what they looked like later when desire came up in you? Can't have a vision, okay. And how about those various people and things and environments that are seen in dream? The capacity isn't in you? Oh, well, okay. Just about shifting states, my friends. Just about shifting states. And the subtle, and the more subtle, and the more subtle. But truly, when I'm talking about having a vision, that would be the least thing that would be in my heart. No, I'm talking about an experience of knowing in various gradations, just knowing, intuitive, feeling, a sense of feeling, and having this knowledge of. And this is the heart. You come into the soul, and oh my, that is a place where you begin to pass into the secret. From intimate nearness, face to face with your Lord, to unity, to being in the reality and truth, risen, ascended Mashiach, reality and truth of eternal unseen one, a non-dual reality and truth, in which the Holy One is the seeing, the hearing, the knowing, the speaking. There's just knowing and deep knowledge. One has come into the deep love and the deep light and the deep witnessing and revelation and vision. But now, the pictures, the images are removed. All the veils are removed. And this isn't face-to-face like this. It's a face-to-face like this. The Holy One, the seeing, Holy One, the hearing, the smelling, tasting, speaking, all of it. Only the one, no other, no one else, nothing else. The Holy One alone. This face-to-face. So you can feel there is this need to invoke and pray and pray and pray. Holy Eternal One, open my eyes and ears and my mouth. Open my mind, my heart, my soul. Open the eyes and ears of my heart, the eyes and ears of my soul. Unveil your face. Let me see you face to face. I know you most intimately. Know you in unity. And see. And so face to face with the heart, it's an open secret. Put out in plain sight in teaching of Holy Kabbalah. Because in Holy Kabbalah, we are taught that there are two faces, but they're really one face, of course. But there are two faces, but they're really one face. One is the face seen through and revealed through radiant holy veils. And the other, which isn't really other at all, is the face without the veils, unveiled. No pictures, no images, no veils. No you, no me, only the one, you see? Face to face, inmost, unity. But with the heart, first with the heart, there is the little face, Zeranpin. And this is the radiant holy veils and radiant holy pictures, images, if pictures, images come up, if the heart takes up the clarified eyes and ears of mind and imagination, or not. Can be that deeper, just seeing the inwardness without seeing in the way one would think of it. Hearing the words, the message, but in a deeper way than one would think of it. Much more integral. Why? With oneself, with you, and heart, and soul. But through radiant holy veils, yes, of heavens and angels, reaching into, archangels in the garden. And the veil of the apostles and prophets and saints. Reaching into the inmost veil over the face of Yahweh. This veil that is the light of Mashiach. All of this, Zeranpin, all of this, the little face, the veiled face, concealing but revealing these veils. And from one of the veils to the next of the veils, to the next of the veils, more sheer and more sheer and more sheer they are. Until no more veils, no more pictures, images, or me or you, only the one. Me, you, one from one. But here, me, going into the secret center of the heart, going into the heart of your holy soul, and sitting with Adonai, sitting with Yahweh, face to face. Yahweh. The seeing, Yahweh, the hearing, the knowing, the speaking. This is completely parallel with teachings of the great vision in and Melchizedek teachings and secret Melchizedek teachings of being the clear and perfect light, and the experience within the clear and perfect light of the atonement, the sound vibration of the name, giving rise to essential lights. And then streams of light from those 5 essential lights. And those streams, those rays, formations of geometrical patterns, which then give rise to structures, realities, images, all arising in innate purity, as from the light of pre-eternity and supernal glory. And yet you would have to understand and the description of the vision here, there's a deeper meaning behind the words. Could be the images aren't images, but they are. I mean, the truth is, there is only the one. Not two, not many, no one else, nothing else, no other. Truth is. And yet, here I am, here you are. Truth one from one. But of course, this reality and truth of Yahweh Elyon, Eternal Most High, non-dual. And so, of course, in speaking in terms of the mind, quite swirly, at times, even seemingly contradictory, and yet not at all. Not in the real, capital R. Non-reality, capital R. Not in the holy and eternal one. The eternal unseen. Not at all. Not at all. But see, seeing face to face like this, it gets very interesting. You see nobody else. Wherever you look, there's the one. Whatever face you see, an ant, or you, me, the one. Whatever voice, or sound for that matter, the voice of your Lord. Whatever presence, the presence of your Lord. What a communion. Inside, outside. But see, in the secret, well, there's no inside and there's no outside anymore. No up or down, higher or lower, male or female, light or darkness, good or evil, birth or death, life, death. It becomes interesting. Deep lover, nor these stations, these states. They will listen to no one else but their Lord. Because they can. There's only their Lord. And they see no other. Only the Lord. But what is it all about but this? Here is a vision to seek, my friends. And seek deeply. So, to invoke the name often, and pray and pray and pray for this. But I will tell you, in seeking a vision, so too, you must learn to be patient and wait upon the Spirit of the Lord. It is not that you cannot see face to face. No. It's just that you're veiled and need to be unveiled. It's just veiled from you. It's just a subtler, more sublime dimension of your intelligence, this divine intelligence that's in you. And one needs to be patient, see, and pray deep, and meditate deep, contemplate deep until the Spirit of the Lord moves, and there's that unveiling where there's that recognizing, realizing, oh, inner sight, inner hearing. Oh, yes. You can understand it simply by understanding the way of angels and most angelic contact and communion. At first, it is very rare. There has to be a reason for an angel to disclose its presence to you. Like, clearly, fully show you. Hi, I'm here. I have a word for you. That's only a once in a while thing. No? More often than not, it's totally concealed, except for the sudden thoughts arising in your heart and mind that are a little different than your own much of the time. That just sudden little movement another way, and all of a sudden, a hearing, a seeing, and aware. Here's this insight. Here's this illumination. Yes, you see, angels tend to speak mind to mind and heart to heart and soul to soul. And of course, this is true of the speaking of Holy One. Feeling me? You might ask, well, why don't the angels reveal themselves? You see, but in divine wisdom that they carry, they know that will just distract you. That will disturb you. You get so caught on the picture and so on, you ain't going to be hearing as deeply as if they just are present, speaking heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul, and it's coming up inside of you without any outward distraction. So maybe you'll hear deeper, feel deeper. The wisdom. Oh, but I'll tell you, you gotta contemplate well those words and what it means in being inward and deeper inward. And not being so caught up on the pictures, the images, if you're feeling me, but rather the knowing, the intuitive intelligence, and that deeper intelligence of Gnostic being, knowing being, which is your holy soul. I mean, you understand. I mean, the Lord is bringing you into your essential self. your essential self that was before the beginning, in the light of pre-eternity, the primordial reality. Your essence, your holy soul. But that holds all the secrets. That has all the knowledge, the understanding and wisdom of the eternal unseen. Creation, revelation, redemption, all of it. It's inside of you. So sitting with your Lord face to face, the Lord gives you yourself. And so your way and your message, because you are the way and you are the message. And because from the beginning, this is all inside you. As the Lord gives you yourself, the Lord's given you what is your own. But I will tell you, to sit with your Lord face to face, you need to give everything to God. You need to give everything to your Lord. Or I should say return it, because it's never been yours and it's never been mine. Me? I'm a non-existent entity. There is no me. Never has been. There's only the one. But you need to give everything to God. All of you, all of your life, all of you, all that you have. Return it to whom it belongs. But it's very interesting. When you give everything to God, God gives everything to you. It's the most interesting thing. God gives God's self to you. And the secrets to you. The fullness of the Spirit. And light. The fullness of the attributes and presence. And this is the Lord giving you yourself. Giving you what is your own. As do the messengers. Speaking the secrets that are in their heart, their soul. But you see, no you, no me. It's not my heart, God's heart. Not my soul, God's soul. Not my mind, God's mind. Not myself, God's self. One. Feeling? And oh no, I'm not God. It's a whole God, not God thing with us. God is God. Knowers have no delusion with regards to themselves. Besides, what's up? Really? So seeking visions. And spiritual retreat, well, my God, on spiritual retreat, be really, really polite with your Lord. Be really, really kind. Be really, really present. And sit with the intention of face to face and be patient. If it seems your beloved isn't in the room, wait, but don't turn away. Don't turn outside. Be inside, deep inside. Abide. Just be. Just be one. Veiled or unveiled, and wait for the unveiling. In the Lord's time. in this beautiful courtship of you and the beloved, the lover and the beloved. And hey, if a lover, Lily ain't going to turn away. All they want is their beloved, be with their beloved, intimacy with their beloved, union with the beloved. There's this burning passion, this yearning, this love. Be the love. Be the light, abiding. If you're feeling me, and yes. Pray for guidance from the Holy One, your Lord, in all things. But first and foremost, pray to see face to face and know and believe you can and you will. And so it shall come to pass. Wait and see. What more can I say? What more is there to say in the moment? I know that is enough. I hold all of you in my heart. Oh, but not my heart, God's heart. So may it be for you. May the grace and the prayers and the peace of the Eternal Most High be upon you. My love to you.
How is this speaking to you? What does it say to you?
I really enjoyed this conversation of giving back to God, giving all of oneself and giving back to God. It sounds like this conversation, Malachi was pointing out in form about cleaning the heart and cleaning the heart of what we are not. And what I'm feeling in this correlation is that when we're cleaning the heart of what we're not, we surrender all of these things back to God. So just feeling that in this contemplation.
The mystery you're drawing out is stunning to really be with deeply and just meditate with, because I know as was called this week to take up a deeper meditation with this, it kind of became funny to me, an idea of that I have thought any of these things are mine in the first place. And it kind of swirls on itself because actually, truly, everything is God's. And it especially became funny when I sat with it deeper and kind of looked into consciousness of the things that I can consider separate from the one, that maybe hold the subtle or not so subtle illusion of separation, that those have never been mine either. And so this returning is ultimately this recognition that none of this has ever been ours. others. And it goes with this mystery that Tao speaks of. It is good to offer up our attributes that God can put God's attributes into us. Do you feel that same mystery kind of swirls in this idea that it's very freeing to come into a place of that giving everything, because it is this deep and profound acceptance that all has always been in the one.
I'm hearing that really profoundly, that seeking a vision is not like Tal Malachi was saying, outward visions, but I feel that I'm hearing that the vision is in your heart. So the eyes of your heart, as Tal Malachi was talking. So then I was contemplating how that reminds me of being face to face, the oneness. So when we're seeking a vision, I feel that we can also say that we are seeking that union in order to be face to face, so we can see with God's eyes as that vision.
Well said. And that follows lovely Catherine's insight with the cleaning of the heart and this purification of the heart, polishing the mirror, Tao has said, of the heart, so that face-to-face arises. And I'm loving what you're saying of God's eyes seeing the vision, because that's a very different vision. If we seek a vision from our own eyes, it's gonna be veiled, and probably even thickly veiled in a sense. So this face-to-face, it goes back to something I've shared many times that I just adore. Hearing a companion once, after having a very powerful vision, you could say, experience, him speaking, gosh, if only I could see myself the way God sees me. Or if only I could love myself the way God loves me. God's eyes seeing the vision, very different.
Amen.
Amen to that, sister. And maybe we be blessed and empowered to sit long enough in patience to come into these moments of unification, these deep insights in face-to-face.
Face-to-face is drawing me into greater awe with which God sees, God hears, God knows. Because it's becoming apparent to me that to come through the veils of a little face, the opposites that the little face represents, into that great face where all opposites are resolved, that of me that is defined by opposites that you were just drawing out, Tao, has to taper and vanish, dissolve into a yet subtler aspect that is from the great face. So in other words, I feel very much like a noun in ordinary consciousness. I am an actor, I am a person, I cast shadows, I've got a story, and so forth. And yet, behind the noun of me is this verb. And I'm attributing pure verb to the great face and seeing, hearing in the great face.
Beautiful. Is this, or are you pointing to this non-existent entity that Tao was drawing upon? I felt you pointing to this.
Yes.
That can never be, well, in the idea of a verb, how do you pen down? How do you point to? How is there a story or a narrative of this non-existent entity? This that actually relaxes and abides completely in what it is already. But it's not an it, and it's not oh, words are hard here. There is just one. No other, right? In that deep insight. Because anytime there's a veil, isn't there something behind the veil? A veil divides. And of course, they get more and more and more subtle. You know, you can have thick fabric that you could never see even light pass through, all the way to translucent, barely noticeable, sheer veil. Still there. What about no veil?
I'm wondering, as long as we are walking in the world, we might have these experiences of the removal of the veils, but the minute we get up to walk, isn't there going to be a veil? But it goes together with the awareness that that's what is when there's physicality. It's, because I can't imagine, and maybe one day I will, walking in physicality with truly no veil. I don't know if it just seems like that we would be here, not here. I don't know. That question came in my mind because we can experience it through removing ourselves for a while from anything else. But once I'm out walking, I do see a person, that person, even though I desire to see the Holy One in that person and I see the beauty, there's still a veil.
Yes, I believe, Tao has kind of circled around this before of, ultimately, I think this is even written in Gnosis of the Cosmic Christ at a certain point. Ultimately, all of our practice is for that moment of departing the physical body completely. The end of days for us. Yes. And I as you were speaking, was just flashing on just a myriad of experiences where, I'm not going to say there was no veil by any means. But yes, while apparently in this physical body, very different consciousness, very different experience than, quote, normal walking around and out and about consciousness. So that goes to say that even in this physical body, we can have this myriad of experiences. And I'm not saying no veil. However, it is curious to consider Yeshua's story. How did he appear in the transfiguration? If this is a revelation of the risen one, might this be a revelation of one abiding face to face? And yet he had not completely departed this physical body. So it's a great question. I guess that's all I can say. Because I think of moments of experience with Holy Zadik, definitely insight, an experience of a presence that was a complete non-existent entity, where the voice of the presence thundered from all directions, not just outside of me, as though coming from a person, could hear Tao speaking inside of me. Not even knowing where the voice was coming from at times, because the presence and the body had disappeared. So if we can experience these things of Holy Zadik, as we say, anything we experience, know that this is within you. Otherwise, you couldn't experience it. So a good question. I think one of those we have to just be with. Maybe it's an and both answer, which is no answer.
I guess the underlying reason for the question was to make sure there's no expectation that we can go around the world walking and expecting to have no veil, even though it continues to appear in a new way all the time. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. And of course, and I like how you're drawing this out, because it kind of made me think for a second in this flashing glimpse of, well, as we evolve spiritually, there are these, and Tao said it today, in fact, when we go to seek a vision, say we are consciously taking up a spiritual retreat for a new vision into, we might be at a turning point in life. We might be at a opportunity, a threshold, if you will, to embark into new stations and new states. There is going to be new veils. But it did strike me, this seeking to see face to face must be this seeking to kind of drop all the veils for a moment and knowing anytime we re-arise, okay, yes, there'll be a new one. It's kind of like, how does water turn to wine? It kind of has to come into this neutral zone of being non-water, no thing, to become wine, meaning something of the substance falls away into a non-existent entity, re-arising again and again and again.
I just want to share my contemplation before Elizabeth came on and gave the discourse. I was saying about how I was standing in the line, and I was just looking across, and I explained how I could feel their face in my face. It was just like before my baptism, when Sister Catherine was really committed. I could feel Catherine. I was even sitting across, eating from the, I'm telling you, Lars, I can feel her in my body. She's in my face. I feel her face, her cheeks, like everything. But I remember when I was standing in line, and from past experience, that when I explained about the one woman where I could hear her soul, which is like this little light that I see inside everybody, right? That's what speaks for me anyways. And I was like, okay, the shell that I was feeling, the veil, wasn't what spoke to me. That spoke to me. So I'm like, I see that separation now, how, yes, there's that, like that light, our soul, our being, the Holy One inside of us. And this is just the veil. Like, I just want to put it out there because I'm really fixated on looking at this right now. So I thought I'd let you know where I was. But yeah, it's interesting. Very deep, that. And now I just want to say, now I'm like, okay, now I'm taking all those in my mind. I'm inside me. I'm taking all those and I'm like, okay, but all those lights or beams is actually one big sparkly like light. And we're like all these little flickering things going like this. I don't know, but that's how it's getting built right now. So I share.
Well, you know, Tao drew something out that I know I'm going to take and run with in contemplation, and perhaps this might be food for yours. Where he talked about contact with an angel, and he said, "Oh, it would be extremely rare for an angel to physically arise and appear in one's environment." It does happen. I've heard stories, but yeah, that is more rare. Actually, what we'll probably notice is a different thought pattern arise in our consciousness, something completely new to us, completely foreign to us, really, something different than we're usually accustomed to thinking, a deep insight. And so your experience you're describing, it reminds me of this. See, so often we depend on the outside and physical form. And so how many of us would walk around and say, "Oh, angel? I've never had any communion with an angel. What are you talking about?" Because we're thinking that means an angel must have appeared before us and we had this deep conversation. No, that's extremely rare. Because how often do we look past the subtleties in consciousness and not notice? So true in our physicality, in our communion with one another. Looking past what's appearing on the surface and communing deeper and deeper yet still. Ultimately, a very intimate communion. Ultimately, face to face. And I like how you drew out this intimacy with baptism. Yes, one who is taking up a proxy for a baptism. It is a very intimate, deep connection. I mean, I have witnessed experiences where the person taking up proxy has barely talked to the one that they're taking up proxy for, but yet has these insights or deep dreams, knowledge of them that they would have had no way of knowing because they're taking up this proxy. No. As you brought that up, I flashed on some experiences with dear, deep companions where in our communion, faces disappeared, quite literally. And such a deep communion, you couldn't tell where the voices were coming from, where the sound vibration was coming from. And so, interesting how this is so possible in our devotions, in our deep communions. I mean, this is part of the reason why we advocate so much the spirit-filled worship and deep communion, because this is kind of where we get to see some of these things. Certainly in baptism and proxy, God willing.
Well, I'm just in awe over this presentation our Holy Sadiq came with, because like I've been contemplating this week and how to invoke, and this morning or just before our gathering I was invoking, and I could feel like it was just not just me, like it was like I could feel that when invoking it's this whole gathering, and maybe especially because it's Shabbat. And then when we came to the discourse from our Sadiq, like when he invoked, I saw that very clearly how we're all gathered and all these angels among us, and the more then he spoke, the more it was like everything just pointed toward deeper and deeper to the Messiah, and even deeper, and it's like it all dissolved as he was speaking, like almost like from within himself we were all gathered there, and he projected that meeting there face to face, also something about how he spoke about how the name got spoken, and then eventually they'll turn into geometric forms, and there's something very mystic, transcendental in that like none of us were really there. We were all whales pointing, like I can't really describe it. I just want to share it, like how we're all veils. And that also tells me like, hey, we're all being veils to reach somewhere that where no one else can reach, and bring that movement in towards that amazing experience of meeting face to face. And so I'm just in awe over that, and still pondering where to go with that.
Praise God, and thank you for sharing your experience. Truly much more behind the words spoken. And I feel in the spirit kind of a nudge towards you might like to look deeper into some of our Melchizedek teachings, because that's kind of where he was pointing to when you talked about the arising of patterns, because ultimately he did bring up something of this great vision, this sound vibration, points of light, rays of light, pattern structures, all the way to all these various realities we experience. Isn't that this conversation of the arising of veils, if you will? The entire tree of life is encompassed in that very conversation. And what can we say of this? Well, what I have heard Holy Zadik speak before is ultimately this is the noticing of what always is transpiring, but from a place that is awake and aware, that remembers from the point of arising the sound vibration and does not forget in the infinite arising of patterns and structures. I remember a dream once, years ago, where we were all huddled. It was quite a few companions. We were huddled together in a football field. And Tao was with us, and he was our coach. And he had this mantra of, where we are going, you have to remember. Where we are going, you have to remember. And it's just this constant mantra of the football coach. And then he said, go. And we all go out in our separate ways and across the field. And I was walking the field, and this fog descended upon the field. And I thought to myself, I am not going to forget. I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember. And I could barely see the silhouette of my beloved companions in the distance as the fog continued to get thicker and thicker. And next thing you know, I was walking down a city street, and everyone I had just been with was no longer. And it got foggier and foggier and more forgetful. And I think the dream turned a different way, and I completely forgot and woke up in the morning. We're talking about this arising from that point of pure remembrance, abiding in oneness that we have never left. It's just, we do enter this fog. But, alas, messengers come tapping us on the shoulder, reminding, hey, you might have forgotten where you were going. So, praise God for that. Sounds like your experience might have been one of these pointing to this.
Yeah, definitely, because I know nothing of it as such were new. It's always been there, it's always will be, but there was a newness to my experience in this life anyways, and it was from that supernal garden, and when he talked about those geometric shapes and all those things that we define as opposite, it was there was this mountain of shapes that was a gateway to in behind all of that, and that's actually a shape I can remember and possibly use as getting to that point, almost like a GPS, inner GPS. So definitely, I'm going to read into that Melchizedek teachings in a forum. Thank you very much.
There's an old writing on the forum. It is the Zadik as the fifth element, I believe it's titled. Correct me, anybody, if that is off. It's a beautiful, longer thread that gets into some of this you might want to look into. Obviously, the language has shifted over time because it was written a while back, but boy, does it get into some deep mysteries of this very thing you're speaking. Curious, our discourse started today with the invocation of the sacred circle, so that must be in the air. And perhaps that is a very good place to pause on. Together as anointed community, we hold a deep prayer and a deep heart wish for the empowerment, the embodiment, the fullness of the journey, flowing forth to endless spirits and souls, reaching out to awaken, that many may arise this day to look and see, to desire, and to passionately cleave, joining face to face with you, El Elyon, God Most High. May we remember the holy Shekinah within and all around. May Ariel Adonai go with you. My deep love to you. Zachor Shalom.
Remember peace.
Remember peace.
Remember peace.
Remember peace.